This better fucking kill me. Hey, what's going on everybody? I'm Grumpy Teeth, and today we're going to look at the astrological compatibility of the feral boys. It's like Hot Ones, but worse. Special shout out to these people for helping me find the pairings. Kudos to you guys, because I couldn't do it on my own, and I had to make a flowchart to keep everything organized. Because I love making myself suffer, no milk, no water, only emergency wasabi. Could be romantic, could be platonic, but all I know is that things are gonna get spicy. I promised you guys I'd do BadBoyHalo and Skeppy, and a bitch delivers. We're gonna use wasabi for BadBoyHalo and Skeppy. Fun fact, wasabi is not on the Scoville unit because the way that it heats things is a little different. These wings are vegan wings. I'm not vegan or anything, I just felt like virtue signaling on the internet today. The problem with me is that I kept my mouth shut. Why did I do that? I just made all like the fumes just like, you know? Okay, so BadBoyHalo's Jupiter is sextile Skeppy's Uranus. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. A sextile basically means that the planets are mellow, they're different enough to where it's interesting, and Uranus is the planet of innovation. When they're in a harmonious relationship, it means they have the same sort of crazies. Because Skeppy is the Uranus person, he's the one who comes up with these like new, fresh ideas, but BadBoyHalo just takes his ideas, he likes them, he likes what he sees, and then he pushes it to a whole new level. Again, I don't watch these people, but I'm assuming that this is what happens. BadBoyHalo's Mars is trine Skeppy's Chiron. BadBoyHalo might make Skeppy more confident because BadBoyHalo is the Mars person. Mars is about your drive, and Chiron is the looted healer. Again, a trine is a positive relationship, so BadBoyHalo might push Skeppy out of his comfort zone. BadBoyHalo is the Chiron person, and Skeppy is the Venus person. So your Chiron is your rooted healer, your Venus is what you value, and when they're squared, they're very tense with each other. So they have a lot to teach each other, but they end up like really provoking each other. BadBoyHalo's moon is sextile Skeppy's Mars, teaching each other how to be more confident. BadBoyHalo emotionally like resonates with Skeppy, why he does what he does. Overall, it's really dramatic, really fun. So this one already has sriracha on it. Sapnap and Karl. For these two, do not take what I say seriously. In fact, don't take me seriously at all. But for these two, don't, because they're both dirty, dirty little moon cuspers. So I'm gonna assume that Sapnap is a Taurus moon and that Karl is a Gemini moon. So Sapnap's moon is squared Karl's Mercury. Sapnap is the moon person. Your moon is your emotions, your nourishment. And because it's squared Karl's Mercury, the way that Karl perceives the world, the way that Karl communicates, right, because Mercury is the planet of communication, the way that Karl communicates might upset Sapnap. Sapnap's Mars is in opposition to Karl's moon. Sapnap's action drive is different than what Karl finds comfortable. It's not bad, it's sort of like a make up for what you lack sort of thing. Sapnap's Neptune is trine Karl's moon. Sapnap is the Neptune person. He kind of appears dreamy, right? Because Neptune's about like dreams, illusions, that sort of stuff. And when it's trine, it's in a good relationship to Karl's moon, his emotions, there's sort of a fantasy element, sort of psychic connection to it. I'm not saying this is true, I'm just saying this is what the chart said. Maybe Sapnap like blurs the boundaries a little bit. Sapnap's Saturn is sextile Karl's Sun. Saturn, again, limitation. Sun brightens everything up. So like he teaches Sapnap how to like let loose. Sapnap's Mars is conjunct Karl's Pluto. It's a spicy aspect, but Mars is drive. Pluto is generational. It is generational. It's not like that big of a deal, but it's pretty spicy. As spicy as Secret Aardvark? Maybe. Oh, geez. Yeah, it's nice. It always bothers me on Hot Ones how they don't describe how it tastes, because I always wanted to know at home. But Secret Aardvark is really nice. It's like bright. Dream and Quackity. So Dream is the only one who I have like a confirmed chart for. If somebody else releases their chart, oop, too bad, but Dream is the only one who I have a confirmed chart for. So Quackity's moon falls into Dream's first house, which is like your house of appearances, your house of self, and your moon is your emotions. Quackity likes how Dream operates life. They like each other, they see the parts, they're like, oh, like, you're like me, and then they feel emotionally safe with each other. Dream's Saturn, so Dream's discipline, restrictions, is trine Quackity's ascendant. Hypothesized ascendant, because I think Quackity might be a Capricorn ascendant, but we're not sure. Somebody told me he's born in the morning. Deduction. So these aspects are very Saturnian. There's a lot of like Aquarius and Capricorn energy, which is reflective in Quackity's chart. So there's sort of an air of authority and seriousness. On the flip side, Quackity's Saturn is squared Dream's ascendant. So there might be something about the way that Dream goes through life that Quackity just doesn't like. It's not a big deal, but it's just like it rubs you the wrong way, kind of. So Dream's Pluto falls into Quackity's 12th house. Pluto is regeneration, rebirth, death, that sort of stuff. And it falls into Quackity's 12th house, which is the house basically of like dark secrets, things that you hide from the world, like darker topics. So Dream can emotionally just probe Q, just right up in there. There's something about Dream that makes Quackity like uneasy. Again, this aspect also like says that. Don't take me seriously, okay? I'm just calling it as I see it. Dream's Virgo moon trines Quackity's Mercury in Capricorn. Again, trine means they're in the same element. They like flow really easily. They're like extremely similar. It means that they like each other and they feel comfortable with each other. Your moon is your emotions. Mercury is how you communicate. Dream's Venus is like what you value, what like kind of music you like even. And it's sextile Quackity's Mars, right? So sextile means that they're different enough, but they flow. And Mars is your drive. It's an attraction indicator. So what Dream values is similar but different to Quackity's drive, his motivation. Dream's Jupiter falls into Quackity's 5th house and vice versa. So when it's like vice versa, it's like strong. Your 5th house is about creativity, children, fun, that sort of stuff. And when Jupiter falls into there, it expands, right? They have a lot of fun with each other. They get extremely creative when they're with each other. We're on to the next one, Dream and Karl. And this is George Bear sauce, Danny Wood's jalapeno cilantro sauce. I can already tell this already smells super garlicky. It wasn't that spicy. It was just more like garlicky. So we're on to Dream and Karl. Okay, this is hypothesized, right? Karl's sun, Mars, are all in Dream's 6th house, which is the sign of Cancer. So your 6th house is about coworkers, routines, sometimes pets, that sort of stuff, like the things that you see every day. Sun, ego, Mars, drive. So when that falls into somebody's house of routines, their lives are like kind of enmeshed. Because Karl's Mars is there, he sort of like helps motivate Dream in a way. So this is kind of like caring coworkers, right? Because it's in the sign of Cancer as well, so it's like a little bit nurturing. So Karl's Mercury is in Dream's 7th house. So Mercury, communicate, perceive the world. 7th house, coworkers, enemies, relationships, that sort of stuff. They both have Leo Mercuries, that they see the world, the way that they communicate is very similar to each other. The most interesting part is that Karl's moon is like tightly conjunct Dream's IC. What does that mean? Okay, so your moon is your emotions, nourishment, what you need to feel comfortable, right? And your IC is basically your home, like your home life. What Karl needs to feel nourished is just right on Dream's home life. Basically, Karl reminds Dream of home or a family member, and they may have had similar upbringings. Dream's Scorpio Mars opposes Karl's Leo Mercury. Your Mars is your drive. When it's in opposition, it's like the opposite of how you communicate. So Dream's drive is completely different than how Karl sees the world. But this is not a bad thing. I don't think oppositions are necessarily a bad thing. They can be positive because it's like, you make up for what I lack. But this specific aspect can indicate instability and conflict. It's not a big deal because Dream actually has it natally in his chart, so whatever energy that this manifests itself as, Dream is pretty comfortable, I think, with whatever conflict he has with Karl. Next sauce. This sauce is Dirty Dick's hot pepper sauce with a tropical twist. I've put worse in my body. It's not that spicy. Like, I haven't reached spice level yet, but Dirty Dick's is quite nice. It is? It's because of the Dirty Dicks, isn't it? Dirty Dicks, it's very tropical, it's very like pineapple-y. So George and Karl. So you guys told me that George was born sometime in the AM, so I narrowed it down. I think he's a Scorpio rising. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna base this entire video on the fact that George is a Scorpio rising and that Quackity is a Capricorn rising. Assumptions. You know what they say about assumptions? So Karl's sun, Mars fall into George's hypothetical 9th house. Because Karl's Mars falls into George's 9th house, which is the house of expansion, and Mars is your drive, he might push George to sort of expand more, like have a good time, like try new things, that sort of. But at the same time, George is like the voice of reason. George's Mercury, right, how he communicates is trine. It's the same element, good communication. With Karl's Mars, so Mars is your drive. So again, he's sort of like, George is like the voice of reason, while Karl is like the expansive one. You can see this with George's Saturn squaring Karl's Venus. Saturn, restriction, discipline, the grandfather. And squaring is like tension. So there's tension between George's discipline and what Karl values, right? His Venus, what he values. George might think that Karl is irresponsible. Karl sees that George is valuable to Karl, but also too practical. They like each other though. And I think this sort of dynamic is reflective in their natal charts. George's Mars is trine Karl's Saturn. So Mars, your drive, trine, getting along. Saturn, discipline, right? Saturn is also about longevity, and it's like an easy aspect. With the two Saturn aspects, the last two I just mentioned, it's a good balancing aspect and it's good for working together. Bravado Spice Co, aka Miso, Ghost Reaper, all up in there. So yeah, this is pretty nice. The heat is definitely kicking in though. It tastes like fermented soybean if you ever had that. Quackity and Karl. So again, going off the theory that Quackity is a Capricorn rising. So they brighten each other up. Karl's ego, values, and drive fall into Quackity's 7th house, his house of other people. So Quackity's sun in Capricorn opposes Karl's Mars in Cancer. Quackity's ego is different than Karl's drive. Conflict, possibly weird power dynamic. They have a lot to teach each other, but they can definitely butt heads at times. This is not necessarily true, but this is what it says. The way that Karl handles people might bother Quackity for some reason. Quackity's Venus in Aquarius is opposed to Karl's Leo Mercury. Quackity's values are different than how Karl sees the world, essentially. But they can speak over each other at times. I knew my nose would run because she's a runner, she's a track star. And because Quackity's Venus is in Aquarius, it's more detached, while Leo is warm about people. Quackity values like aloofness more than Karl. Not like Quackity's like some cold bastard, but like Karl values being in your face a little bit more. So Quackity sees Karl as sort of like Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. Quackity has a Taurus Saturn, shout out Taurus Saturn, and it's squared Karl's Leo Mercury. What I think is interesting is that Quackity and George, they both have squares to Karl's Mercury, Leo Mercury. Just in general, I forgot which planets, but they have squares to Karl's Mercury, which is interesting. So because there's like tension, like both of them have, there's something that rubs them the wrong way about how Karl sees the world. I don't remember if it applies to dream, but I don't think so. There's like some friction there, but again, friction is not always bad. So Quackity has a Scorpio Mars, and it's in opposition to Karl's Taurus Saturn. So again, competition, Mars, drive, opposition, opposites, Saturn, discipline, right? So discipline and drive, they're at odds with each other a little bit. So it's competitive. Saturn is a pretty slow moving planet, so I'm not worried. So it's not like harshly competitive. Okay, we're on to the next one, which is Volcanic Peppers Red Reaper Mango Hot Sauce. You know, they don't like, it's a scam. These things, they make it look like there's more sauce, but there's not more sauce. It's just labeled. It's actually filled up like to here. To where? Show it again. To here. To here, right here. So I'm getting notes of like cinnamon. It's kind of like a good fall hot sauce, if that's even a thing. I will probably take my eyelashes off for this video. Like towards the end, I will be like, I'm touch your eyes. I will touch my eyes if I please, and I don't please. Hot sauce with your bare hand? With my bare hands. Okay, so Quackity and George. Again, going off of the ascendant theory, it's just a theory that Quackity is a Capricorn rising and George is a Scorpio rising. Hypothetically, if that's true, then that means their ascendants are sextile to each other, which is really nice, which means that they're like different enough, but also like similar. It's like a soft and easy aspect. Like they'll get along, but there's like differences enough where it is interesting. Quackity's ascendant is in opposition to George's moon. How Quackity goes about the world, his self, his body, is opposite to George's emotions. Again, opposition's not bad. I think it's more like they fit each other. It's like opposites attract, especially because of their other aspects as well. So Quackity's worldview is compatible with George's emotional needs. Imagine like the way that somebody goes about the world, like just fits into like what you need emotionally. That's sweet. Their Mars are sextile, easy flow between their drives. So like they get each other. They like their motivations. They're like, oh, I see you, we see each other. Their Mercuries are also sextile. The way they see the world, the way they communicate, just flows with each other. Quackity's Mercury falls into George's 3rd house, which is super duper. Like, I really like their synastry, actually. So your 3rd house is basically the house of communications, and if somebody's Mercury falls into there, it basically means like, basically, they get it. They get you, they see how you communicate, and it's in line, it makes sense to them. All right, and then George's Mercury and Sun falls into Quackity's 11th house, which is so interesting because the 11th house is about your friends, your network, and if somebody's Sun, their ego, how they see the world, and how they communicate falls into your friends, like, it just makes a lot of sense. It's made with Carolina Reapers. Oh, and ghost peppers. Interesting. That's quite a lot. I don't know. I think this is supposed to be spicy. Or maybe I didn't mix it up enough. This is like... Is this supposed to be spicy? I feel like if you like Indian food, you're really gonna like this. I would totally like eat this every day. Like I feel like this one was more spicy than this one. So quackity and sapnap. So sapnap has a Venus in Aries, which is fun, childish, and it's squared quackity's ascendant. What sapnap values is in conflict with how quackity goes about the world, hypothetically, right? Because we don't know quackity's birth time. There might have been something about quackity that sapnap just didn't like at first. It's not like he was like repulsed by quackity, but it was just like, oh, like that kind of, it's a little weird and like a little rubs me the wrong way at first. So quackity's ascendant ruler, if he is a Capricorn ascendant, is his Taurus Saturn. Quackity's chart ruler is conjunct sapnap's Taurus moon. They can relate on issues about like making themselves suffer for no reason, or like mommy issues, or like things of like the moon nature and like holding back and discipline. Quackity might be an authority figure to sapnap, which is again not bad. Quackity's moon is conjunct sapnap's Neptune. Neptune is illusion, moon is emotion, so they're sort of magical together. They fuse together. I mentioned this on like sapnap's natal reading, that he's like sort of dreamy, and it's really interesting how other people have exact Neptune aspects to sapnap. Oh god. Come here. So we're gonna do Georgian sapnap next, but this is the bomb, okay? Let me tell you about the bomb, all right? Do you know what pepper spray is made out of? Pepper spray, all right? Pepper spray? Pepper spray is made out of pepper extract, which is the same thing that they use in the bomb. I don't know that much about hot sauces, but basically there's like two ways. It's either pepper distillate or pepper extract. It's like pepper spray. And I've been pepper sprayed a healthy amount of times, which is none. I've never been pepper sprayed, but scared. Ew, did you hear that? Did you hear it? Okay, it's disgusting. Really runny. Oh, I'm scared. It's just bitter. It tastes like, you know when you get like new shoes? Like you get like the rubbery smell? If you took that and turned it into a taste, that's what that tastes like.
Tastes good.
You wanna try some? No, you don't.
Yeah.
You do? Mm-hmm. Okay. Wait, I gotta break out my emergency wasabi. All right, so Georgian sapnap.
I'm gonna eat that. Hold on.
For me, the burn is not that bad.
Your lips are red.
I know they are. But like, I love pain. I love suffering. I don't respect my body. Point blank, I don't. So this pain is kind of enjoyable to me, which is a cope. I'm coping. But
I need to go get ice cream.
oh yeah, it's smart that you bought ice cream. I don't want. So George has a Cancer moon, which is squared sapnap's Venus in Aries. There's conflict between what sapnap values and what George needs emotionally. George's Venus in Libra is trine sapnap's Jupiter in Gemini, right? So Venus is what we value. So similar values, and in my opinion, that means that they like the same things. Sapnap brightens George's life and makes it dreamlike. Again, there's this very like Neptunian theme around sapnap. This also indicates that George is the voice of reasons, which is reflective in both of their birth charts. For example, with George's Mercury, like how he communicates, George's Mercury is squared Sapnap's Neptune in Aquarius, so George is like grounding. Sapnap has his head in the clouds. Sapnap's Mercury, Neptune, and Uranus are all in George's third house. The third house is communication. Again, they like the way each other communicates, but Sapnap adds an element of dreaminess, of innovation into George's life, which is interesting because you can see it in their charts how Sapnap is sort of like a Neptunian figure almost to them. They have like so many aspects to Neptune, which I think is interesting. George might appreciate Sapnap's dreaminess. The SD card was full. So, come on, we have 2 more things to go. I promise on my life, I did not take a drink of water or anything. All I had was my emergency wasabi. Sapnap's Mars and Pluto falls into George's first house, which is a spicy aspect, because your Mars is your drive. And so is Pluto. It's about like regeneration, dark stuff. So when it falls into George's first house, which is the house of self, like how you operate the world. And also the way I see this is that because your first house is your house of self, there's something about George that is aspirational to sapnap, right? Because your Mars is about drive and Pluto is about regeneration. So in my opinion, this is kind of like Batman and Robin in a way. So the next sauce, oh, I have to record myself because my assistant, my lovely assistant, had some of the bomb and she died. So it's so it's just me. You know, funny thing is, I don't think it's the spice that's gonna take me out. I think it's gonna be the food poisoning because I've been filming for a hot minute. I don't know if that's supposed to be spicy because it's not. Like, I feel like this would go well with like a Tempranillo wine and like chili. It's not spicy to me. This one is spicy. This one, nah. Dream and sapnap. So, I might have snot on my face, and if I do, I'm sorry. So sapnap's moon is in Dream's 4th house. The 4th house is about home and family. This is kind of like Karl's situation, except Karl's moon is right on Dream's IC. In this case, sapnap's moon just falls into Dream's 4th house, which is still the house of home. Dream might think that sapnap is like, reminds him of a family member, but it's less intense as Karl. Like, Karl is like really like homey to him, I don't know. Sapnap's Saturn falls into Dream's 4th house, so that means that Sapnap might hold himself back when it comes to home stuff. I can't talk on a normal basis. The spice is bringing me adrenaline, but at the same time, it's making my mouth do weird things. They are comfortable expressing their feelings to one another, which is good. They like the same oral art, so like music and like poetry. Dream's Virgo Venus 3rd house is squared Sapnap's Gemini and Jupiter in his 5th house. They are childlike together. And Dream's Virgo moon is in opposition to Sapnap's Pisces sun. So Dream's emotions is different from Sapnap's ego. Again, not a bad thing. They make up for what each other lacks. Sapnap's Mercury is in Dream's 1st house. So Sapnap reminds Dream of himself in a way. When how somebody talks is in alignment with like how you operate the world. You're gonna like relate to them. A lot of arguments. Dream's Mars and Saturn are squared Sapnap's Mercury in Aquarius, 11th house and 4th house. Editing me? You make sense of that. Not me. So they might fight about like home things and like friends and like their network and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they got into a physical fight before. The heat is definitely coming in waves. By the way, I'll never forgive you little gremlins for bastardizing heat waves. Some crimes can never be forgiven. You will pay for your crimes. That being said though, I'm gonna make a playlist out of the charts and what they remind me of, so you can have more songs to bastardize. Speaking of heat waves, gonna make sure the juices are moving. Oh, look at me, I'm putting so much on the last dab. Okay, there it is. Fun fact about the last dab. Basically, it's made out of the hottest pepper, which is the Apollo pepper. And it is basically breeded with whatever the 2 hottest peppers are. I think it's the Carolina Reaper and Pepper X. Breeding kink. Is this supposed to be spicy? I mean, I don't think it's that spicy. I mean, it's not spicy. You know what I think this is? I think that this is like when you get 2 pretty people, all right? 2 pretty best friends, and they make a baby together, all right? And you know how they're like, oh, if 2 pretty people have a baby, their baby will be ugly. Well, I think this is their ugly baby. No offense. I think it's delicious. I think it's a little spicy, yes, but not that spicy. And I'm not just saying this to be stoic and badass or whatever. The bomb is spicier. But it's nice, it's fresh, it's bright, I would say. It would pair well with like fish or like white wine. Dream and George. You've been waiting for it, you've been asking for it. Some of you already seen it, but I'll do it again. Dream's sun and Mercury are in George's 10th house. And this is both ways. So your 10th house is your house of career. You know, this is felt mutually. Your sun is your identity and your Mercury is communication. 10th house is the house of career. So then they actually do think that they like work well together as a business and as a partnership. It's very beneficial for them. Dream's Juno is in Scorpio in Dream's 10th house. So they like being in public together. Honestly, if they got married just for like the business purposes or whatever, that wouldn't be that bad of an idea. dreams, Mars is conjunct George's ascendant, and Mars is your drive. Your ascendant is how you go around the world, yourself, your physical being, and when they're conjunct, they're like, oh, I saw, yeah, it's my drive is like the same as your way you go through life, and he likes what he says. He likes it. Sorry, I'm turning into like the hot sauce gremlin, and also I haven't slept. I don't know if that's clear to any of you. Maybe. So George's Sun and Mercury are in Dreams' 9th house of Scorpio. 9th house is about exploration, not only in the physical sense, but also in the spiritual sense. So I said previously in the TikTok that like they would like enjoy like sexual stuff together, like exploring like dark taboo stuff, but this could also mean that they like traveling with each other, like talking about things, like being expansive together. The point is they like being together and doing things together. If it's in Scorpio, then yes, taboo stuff. But then if it could fall into Sagittarius, right? So they could like traveling together, that sort of stuff. Alright, George's Venus is in Dreams' 8th house when we're using equal sign houses. That is. So 8th house is about obsession, transformation. It's good for amassing resources together, and this aspect especially indicates that they like to explore taboo stuff together. I'm so sorry. This is so gross. George is very like attached to Dream, and he makes himself available to Dream. In my experience, there's an air of forgiveness to this placement, and the 8th house generally likes providing for the Venus person. I have this aspect with my assistant who unfortunately passed away. And I would say that aspect is true for both of us. Do you know what I find so interesting? Do you want to guess? Close your eyes, okay? And imagine a different duo. Different two-male duo that the internet likes. I'll give you 3 seconds to guess. No, not Rhett and Link, Dan and Phil. Dan's Venus actually falls into Phil's 8th house. And Venus isn't just about love, it's about resources too. And this is like an auspicious placement to have when it comes to like business partnerships, because the 8th house is about the house of shared resources, right? They'll find success as a duo, which is so weird. I am going to mix the sauces together because I don't care about myself. Also, I saw Paul Rudd do it and he didn't describe what it tasted like. So guess what? I'm gonna do it. Speed round, Sriracha, secret aardvark. Okay.
Are you missing all of the last one?
Yes, I am. Oh, it's so pretty. I feel like a painter. Oh shit. No, I miss my assistant so much. It's almost like she's here filming me right now. I'm right here to be careful. I'm right here. Mother of pearl. Personal sauce. Okay, it's not gross if it's personal sauce. Okay, I guess I'll mix it in with like part of the nugget I didn't eat. Alright, look at how beautiful.
You know I had a wooden stick, you could've used that.
I just like to make my life harder than it needs to be. Hey, give me that stick. Oh, okay. Okay, everybody. Alright, this better fucking kill me.
Any last words? You're smart.
Yeah, that's fine. It's my identity now. Now I understand. I understand Paul Rudd. Okay? This is an undescribable taste. I don't know, it just tastes like peppers. Okay. Oh, I saw a tweet the other day that was like, a few weeks ago, that people who have hard Moon Saturn aspects, they like enjoying eating spicy foods because Moon is about food, Saturn is about like
making things harder for yourself. You have hard Moon Saturn aspects.
You will like spicy food. That's like the tightest orb in my chart. And so I have a Taurus moon, it's conjunct my Taurus Saturn. So if I had to guess, all right, anybody who on the SMU has a Taurus moon just like me, I know sapnap has a Taurus moon. I know BadBoyHalo has a Taurus moon, I think. I don't know about his Saturn, but he might like spicy food. Lazar Beam, but I don't think he has the same Saturn. You know, the insidious thing about the spice mixed all together, I thought it wouldn't be that spicy because I thought it would be diluted, but it's actually pretty intense. I don't know. Go read Snot Girl. Go watch Hot Ones if you haven't. I'm gonna run off just like my nose. And Godspeed.